called it off today anyway.
Did you?
You rejected Aiden Murphy.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What is it about these boys that just gets Jasmine and Priya to think like, wow, we've made it. We're with the Murphy brothers. Who gives a damn? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love Island season 13 episodes 53 and 54. Before I get into it, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. We have to talk about the tea online. If you guys missed it, let me be the one to tell you. The first, which is just so funny to me, it's not even tea for real, it was just a funny thing that happened. I think it was 2 days ago after the episode where Priya was being classist. Priya's fan page came out and they said, oh, I can't rock with this no more. They said, breaking news. I'm taking a break. I love Priya a lot and was rooting for her, but I no longer can say I'm rooting for her anymore after the behavior I've seen over the last couple of days. I hope her friends who follow me understand, and I hope no one sends hate to her, as I can tell she has got a lot on her plate, but I will no longer be posting on here anymore. Goodbye. Your own fan pages are saying, nah, we can't rock with you no more. This is bad. Now on to the tea, guys, the tea. All of us who had our tinfoil hats on, we have been vindicated. Mara was on the Madam Joyce podcast, and Madam Joyce was talking about production, doing things to coax people to make certain decisions. And Mara's there like, Now for the folks who, number one, watch reality TV as if it gives us life, and number two, have watched the show Unreal, guys, I implore you, if you have not watched the show, watch the show. We know how far producers will go to make contestants do things that they wouldn't do without outside influence. On top of that too, if you are looking at Love Island as a business opportunity, you do want to stay for longer. So unfortunately, the power dynamic is going to make you do things because they're telling you to do things, or because they're distorting your reality, right? Mara said producers were in Simba's ear all throughout Casa, and they convinced him that Angelista was recoupling with somebody, that Angelista had hooked up with someone. She's recoupling with him, with that guy. And if he wants to basically stay here, he's got to bring Mara. Mara said, nobody wanted to bring me. Nobody wanted to bring me back, which gives context to why Samraj and Simba had the conversation where Samraj was like, I'm not bringing her back for you, bro. Like, if you like her, you're going to have to explore that. I'm not bringing her back. And then Simba came to his own decision. He's like, well, I don't want to do that to Angie. I'm not bringing her back. A lot of us thought that it was a conspiracy theory. And I'm not absolving Simba of his interest in Mara, not 1 second. I think he was genuinely interested. But I think he also genuinely thought, I don't want to bring nobody back. But then they got in his head. I wouldn't be surprised if people got into Covin's head too, because the way these two were like, who are those girls? We don't know them. As soon as they got back to the main villa. Anyways, on to episode 53. I'm going to try to breeze through it because honestly, guys, we're getting to the point where some things feel a bit filler. It was a good episode, don't get me wrong. Good episode, but some things are quite redundant. So Jasmine tells Covin about her conversation because he's curious. The conversation she had with Lorenzo was just about them solidifying their friendship. And the conversation with Yulia was Yulia saying the same thing she's been saying the whole damn time, except this time she added the fact that she believes that Jasmine is manipulating Priya. Like I said, I don't think it's an active manipulation, but I think that she benefits from the dynamic that's there between the two of them. And I don't think she wants to change that. I think it benefits her that Priya is so impressionable. And I'll just leave it there. Anyways, she says she doesn't care anymore because Covin is like, oh, I'm surprised you didn't bite. She's like, oh, I don't care. I don't need to. The reason why she can say that is because she knows her lackeys are going to do it for her. And sure as shit, here goes Priya.
It's maybe easier for him to like pick you over any new bombshell. I do think you've developed feelings now.
He never said he's not into it, and that's what we've spoken about tonight. He hasn't yet developed deeper feelings.
You've got a friendship connection, obviously you do. It's safer. That's what I mean by safer.
I don't think it's safer. I think I shouldn't speak to Julia.
Oh, bro.
Oh, did you speak to her?
He's led me on to stay in as long as possible What? She doesn't have loyalties to anyone.
I feel like I'm being gaslit. We had that rage bait episode some weeks ago. This was the gaslighting episode. I was just like, what is going on? So Priya is trying to say, oh no, feelings have yet to develop. I'm sorry, guys. The friends to lovers trope, is it not that you are able to go quicker on the romantic part because the foundation of friendship is already there? If it's taking Aiden this long to have real feelings for you, maybe it's because he just doesn't like you like that. Sexually, yeah, you guys both benefit. There is that attraction sexually, but it starts and stops there. Be so for real. So then she's gonna say, oh, you keep calling me a game player. Why would you do that? She didn't. To be clear, Yulia did not. People on the screen said you were a game player, and Yulia used that to back up what she was thinking, which is that it is more comfortable for you to get with a guy who's been here the whole time. He's been here the longest. Priya's gonna expose herself. He's been here the longest. It's the easiest path for you. Instead of going for somebody who's actually interested in you, Aiden going for somebody who is actually attracted to, y'all didn't want to do that because it was ruffling too many feathers. Let me stick with the guy who's been here the longest. Clearly he's middle of the pack. He doesn't get top, but he doesn't get bottom. I think I could write it out with that person. They literally saw a clip of her talking about the damn final, which is what Yulia is trying to say. But everybody has amnesia. Nobody even once references that clip like, well, isn't that weird that Priya did say? Nobody at all. And it is so annoying to see Priya back up this connection that she doesn't believe in, to see the villa back up this connection that they don't believe in. But because it is Yulia calling it out, it's this big calamity. And it's crazy because everybody keeps saying, oh, I don't care. She's for the drama. She's looking for screen time. She's looking for. Okay, it is one person in this whole villa. If y'all don't care what she's talking about, why do y'all care what she's talking about? The whole villa is always in a tizzy because of Yulia's comments. One person. Maybe it's because she's clocked your asses and y'all can't handle it. So then Priya is going to go over to Kav and Jasmine. They're like, yeah, she's just for the drama, whatever. Priya is going to basically rally the troops because she's like, oh, well, you told me one story and you told Jasmine another story. And now I know that you're the fake one because your story is changing and blah, blah. Oh my God, it's enough.
Bombshells and Casa Girls, you are a test to the OGs. And if you look at every single season, there are normally a lot more OGs.
And you know that. And you know what you're doing.
You just said it. No, Yulia, that's not fair.
So you think that I have calculatedly got to this point because I've watched it?
That's not what I said.
You did say that.
You basically inferred that.
Stop shouting at me and fucking listen to what I've got to say.
Priya, you mean to tell me we're supposed to believe you're not a game player, yet you're the person who brings up the end, the final, so often. You just admitted now that in the 13 seasons that you've sat down and clearly studied, there's this trend of OGs staying the longest and having the most success. So you, who's not an OG, have latched yourself to an OG. And you, by your own thinking, would have thought, going with Ethan wouldn't secure me the win. Going with Alicia wouldn't secure Aiden the win. You know what we should do? Ride this out together. We've been here the longest. History shows that the longest couples do survive. That's what we should do. But you're not a game player. And then she brings up again to Yulia, you keep saying I'm a game player. She didn't. And she's clear about saying that I did not call you a game player. I feel like the connection is disingenuous and everybody knows this. Literally everybody knows this. So she's like, okay, even though I didn't say game player, I can use that word to apply to the situation. Here goes Mika, no, you can't say, oh God. That girl is so annoying. So annoying. I'm so sorry. Somebody who's just a yappa and can't even use real examples to back up their opinion. It's just, oh, well, my friend said it, so I'm going to say it too. Ew, follow her, bye. And I'm sorry, people are saying, oh, she's 21, guys, she's young, she's whatever. As somebody who was not susceptible to peer pressure, malarkey. Malarkey, you're 21. You know how to have an opinion of your own. And respectfully, we are allowed to say, I don't like a follower. Yulia isn't always correct. But one thing she is somebody who stands on her convictions. And I can respect that. Even while the guys are talking, and the guys are little wusses too, because they want to listen in. Nobody wants to actually intervene and help them resolve the conflict. They want to listen in and then scatter when the conversation is over. Before that though, Simba, not even Lorenzo. Simba has to say, you know what? I get that you guys don't agree with this girl. I'm not saying she's perfect. Later on, he's going to say, I'm not saying she's perfect. But he's like, she's allowed to have her opinion. It takes a lot of bravery to actually just stand up against everybody who's clearly saying a different thing. I don't think it's fair for us to attack her for just staying true to herself. You got Simba backing your girl up more than you are. Eventually he does, and I was like, okay, finally you'll get your props, but it took you too damn long. It takes Simba to back up your girl before anybody else. Another thing I did not like was how people were taking little discrepancies to try to discredit Yulia. They keep asking her the same questions, and people are wording it differently and stuff. So you are going to find some discrepancies, but her through line has always been the same. I don't think this relationship is genuine. Point blank and the period. They're not accepting that. So they have to keep asking her. They have to keep pummeling on her to make her conform. And she's just not going to. This is what investigators do. They keep asking you in different ways. They ask you. At some point, your story is going to have discrepancies, and that's how they're like, oh, gotcha. But no, you didn't get her. You're trying to confuse her, and I'm glad she's sticking to her guns. Fast forward to the Not Another Podcast challenge. Jasmine says that there's an obsession with Aiden and Priya's relationship being fake when they are clearly not. I said an obsession. I would argue there's an obsession to uphold these Murphy brothers to some kind of God level, and I don't understand it. I don't get it, but okay. Coven says he has his own opinions, which are that the relationship is not real. He doesn't go on to elaborate that, but we know that those are his thoughts. So you're not mad at Coven for thinking it's not real, but everybody else who says that has an obsession. Priya says she wants to write it out with Aiden, and he says that his feelings are taking longer to catch me because they started off as friends. Bullshit. Coven says that he doesn't need Aiden's approval. He just wants his opinion. I think it's a mix of both. I do. I think if your brother was to adamantly disapprove of something, he probably wouldn't do the thing. I just do think so. I think that there have been plenty of opportunities for Coven to do something that his brother doesn't agree with. But if he was adamantly like, no, do not do that, I think that Coven would actually succumb to that pressure. Aiden admits that there wasn't an initial attraction with Priya the way that there was with Yasmin. And if he had the opportunity to couple up with Yasmin, he would. The jokes write themselves, guys. Mika and Samar say that they are moving at the same pace. She literally complained about them being at a different place the other day, but I guess they've sorted it out. They say that they don't care what the public thinks because they're untouchable. And then they say they love each other. Lorenzo says he's good at not putting on a title on their relationship because he works best when there's no pressure. Lorenzo is asked why he doesn't defend Yulia like he defends the other girls. He says he's not there when the drama goes down. Also bullshit. Also bullshit. Do you seek understanding when those situations go down so that you can have your girls back? Yeah, I didn't like that. I really didn't. Also, we find out that him saying Julia instead of Yulia is to rage bait her. And that made me even more annoyed. She had to correct him a few times when he would say Julia on the podcast. And she's like, it's Yulia. And he would just laugh. No, pronounce my name right. If you respect me, you would respect my wishes for you to pronounce my name right. That's a bare minimum thing. And if you're in on the joke and she's not, then it's not a joke. Like what? Anyways, Tommy says that he doesn't have a girlfriend on the outside because that was a community question. But he does admit to seeing somebody a few weeks before he got on the show. Now that is interesting because he was in Casa. So for about 4 weeks, he was still dealing with old girl. But then when he was confirmed to go, then he... ain't that something? It should be noted, Yasmin also has the same allegations against her. We will see how she responds to those on the outside. On to the rankings. Everybody wants to say that Yulia is here for fame, but they make it clear that they only think it's Yulia. It's definitely not Lorenzo, though. Everybody's here for damn fame, everybody. How are you going to say Yulia is fame hungry because she's deciding to go against the grain, which is an accurate read on what is going on? Her delivery absolutely sucks. It sucks. But oftentimes she's on the money, and y'all are mad. Y'all are mad that she clocked you. But anyways, Lorenzo, Yulia, Simba, and Angie vote for Priya and Aiden as the most fame hungry. I'm glad that Simba spoke up. He was like, listen, at this point, guys, I think that you're on a bandwagon. Like, you're just trying to all dogpile on Yulia because it's the easiest thing to do. And he goes, no, we're not. No, we don't do it. Mika, the loudest. Her boyfriend, the loudest. No, we're not doing that. I don't respect you. Say, ugh. It's true. Aiden says he was upset with Simba because he knows him better than that. The fact that he knows you so well and he still voted you as fame hungry is telling. Yulia says she's on D&D. Don't disturb me no more. That tickled me. That was hilarious. I also was annoyed by Aiden saying that Yulia has an opinion that's only based on clips, which is not true. She's had opinions way before movie night happened, before the graffitis happened. She's been this way. She's just now using the clips to back up the points that she already felt. And then Priya says that Yulia had been changing her stance based on who she was talking to. Again, like I said, you guys keep bringing her the same thing just from different angles. You're gonna find some discrepancies. Anyways, the public thinks that Yulia and Lorenzo are third, Mika and Samraj are second, and Priya and Aiden are first as far as most fame hungry. Everyone is upset when Yulia says, thank you, like, duh, obviously what I'm saying is true. And then they get on Simba being like, see, this is why we're saying what we're saying. Do you see how she acts? And he's like, I never said she was perfect, but you guys are dogpiling on her because it's the easiest thing to do. That's a fact. I agree with Simba. Who is brushing red flags under the carpet? Everyone basically says Priya and Aiden. Tommy said that he never believed in their relationship, but he's been quiet. Interesting. Aiden says that he feels other people feel the same, but likely don't want to voice it. Priya says that she appreciates Tommy for keeping his opinion to himself. I was like, what? So you guys appreciate people being fake in your face? For what? You guys are mad at Yulia for keeping it real. But, oh, you know, let's just smile in each other's face and then only talk shit behind each other's back. That's the way to go. I appreciate that. Yo, sure. The public thinks that Yulia and Lorenzo are third, Jasmine and Kavin are second, and Priya and Aiden are first when it comes to, what is it again? Brushing red flags under the carpet. Kavin and Jasmine were kind of upset when Yulia was considering them, but clearly the public feels the same. Interesting. Who's most likely to cheat and end up breaking up on the outside? People say Simba because he has a history of cheating. People say Aiden because he's not into Priya. Lorenzo and Yulia say Kavin and Jasmine because of Kavin's insecurities. I was irritated that Jasmine was trying to bait Yulia. She was like, well, is that your opinion, Lorenzo, solely? Or, you know, did Yulia have a say in that? Why do y'all care? You just said you don't care what Yulia thinks and whatever. You heard Lorenzo. And I'm so glad that sometimes Yulia decided to stay quiet on that podcast because it forced Lorenzo to actually voice his opinion. The last few days, he's just been taking a back seat because Yulia has been barking the most. But this time on the podcast, he actually spoke up. So now people are like, Lorenzo? No, it must be Yulia. No, it's Lorenzo. He also thinks that. That really irritated me. But anyways, he says, yeah, I think it's you guys because you haven't sorted out your stuff, which a lot of people do believe. And then he says, I would have picked Priya and Aiden, but I don't even think they're going to be together when the show ends. The public thinks Yulia and Lorenzo are third, Angie and Simba are second, and Priya and Aiden are first. Next one was strongest in the villa, but weakest on the outside. The votes are really all over the place. Kavin and Jasmine got votes because of Kavin's overthinking. Mika got votes because she lives in Barbados, and then Tommy got votes because of his lifestyle. The public says Yulia and Lorenzo are third, Simba and Angie are second, and Kavin and Jasmine are first. Something is amiss with Kavin and Jasmine, but the villa doesn't want, you know what, don't. And then last was least compatible. Priya and Aiden got 5 votes, Yulia and Lorenzo got 3 votes, Mika and Samraj got 2 votes, and then Yasmin and Tommy tied with Kavin and Jasmine, who all got 1 vote. You know who didn't get a vote? Simba and Angelista. We've come a long way. Sorry, I keep saying I'm not going to put that on y'all. I've come a long way with these two. I'm so happy. Guys, we're actually going to get a full Zimbabwean couple in the final. Wow. I'm impressed. Tommy gets onto Simba saying he knows him well and he shouldn't have voted for him because, you know, they talk about his feelings for Yasmin and all that. And Simba's like, I do know you. And when we do talk, it feels like there isn't much substance there in your connection. You guys are goofy or whatever. And they're like, oh yeah, but don't you see that us both being goofy and ditzy means that we're compatible? Simba says they don't have the hard conversations, and Tommy fixes his mouth to say, I know what I want to know. Yasmin knows what she wants to know. We're good. So you are proving the point. Because a real relationship is going to have the hard conversations. You're going to have to hear things that you don't want to hear. Let me remind you guys, at that Mr. and Mrs. whatever competition thing, the man didn't even know Yasmin's middle name. The couples who are vulnerable are Priya and Aiden, Mika and Samraj, and Yulia and Lorenzo. So after all that, we have Yulia who vents to Lorenzo about being attacked for her opinion, when clearly a lot of other people feel the same. And I'm so glad that this game exposed that. It's not just Yulia. Yulia's just the only one with the cojones to be honest, instead of just following the pack. Lorenzo says, you know what? Don't deep it. Let's just move forward. I need him to validate her a bit more, guys. I'm so sorry. I get that for him, like friendships are the most important or whatever, but once you get into a relationship, some of that priority has to change. Not to say your girlfriend is above every single person, and I know that's not his girlfriend, but if you're trying to show this person that you are serious about them, you do have to be honest. Like he's able to tell her when he doesn't agree with her behavior, but when he clearly does agree with her, he's like, oh, just don't internalize it. I don't like that, guys. I don't like that. Aiden and Priya say that they understand why they're in the bottom. She says she cannot back the relationship herself. So what is the point of all the rah-rah? What's the point? If you yourself don't have... No, guys, when I'm telling you, like, this felt like Rage Bait Part 2. Like, I actually have to calm myself down right now. You don't back up the relationship yourself, but you're upset when somebody calls that out. Don't piss me off. Oh my God, don't piss me off. Mika and Samraj, they're upset with Simba because he basically called them sheep, but it's facts. There's no two ways about it.
I really didn't like the bandwagon comment. You're a sheep and you're following the herd. Took it as like an insult to my intelligence.
Easy to jump on Yulia and Lorenzo's case right now.
You haven't been in the dressing room with the shit she says.
I don't think I did that just to break the mold or to be different.
We was like,
it's tongue-in-cheek. It's her banter.
This house is full of sheep. Full of sheep, and I'm so happy that it takes Simba of all people. Guys, the character development has just been astounding with this boy. It takes Simba to finally become sentient and have thoughts of his own, have an opinion of his own, and then have the gusto to call people out on their hypocrisy. Samraj asks Aiden if there's anything there between himself and Priya. What a stupid question. In 57 different ways, Aiden has told you he don't like the girl. What are we talking about? Literally, next topic. I don't care. Kavan says that it seems like Samraj is getting on to Aiden like, oh, why are you attacking him? Because he's trying to hold him accountable? What is it with the Murphy brothers and being allergic to their brother being held accountable? What is that? What is that? Whenever any Murphy brother is being pulled up on something, the other brother is like, you're attacking him, oh my God, you're attacking my brother. Yasmin talks to Lorenzo, who says that maybe she should be a bit cautious with Tommy, especially because she's feeling a way about this new information regarding Tommy. And she's like, okay, I'll take my time with this guy. Jasmine thinks that Yulia is making Lorenzo vote against her. Because somebody dared to challenge your opinions. They must be the root of the problems now. They must be the reason why there's dissension in the house. They must be the reason why your friend didn't back you, even though you heard straight from his mouth the opinions that he had. Everything is Yulia's fault? This is actually so embarrassing, guys. This is embarrassing. It's annoying. Anyways, in the morning, Samraj says he's annoyed that he's in the bottom because he feels like they don't deserve to be there. I thought you didn't care. Okay. Lorenzo says he wants to make this, a good day. This is potentially his last day, so he just wants to be in high spirits. Yulia says the same. Yasmin breaks down saying she doesn't want to look like an idiot again, and Yulia tells her, listen, you like this guy, have a candid conversation with him. Don't internalize things, don't make assumptions, just go and have a conversation. Yulia tells Simba she's happy that she is allowed to express her opinion without being judged when talking to him, Angelista, and Lorenzo.
There's so many things that annoy me. The fact that you even have to say thank you.
You may not always agree,
Yeah, exactly. Is the bare minimum for someone to be able to voice their opinion.
If the people in here who we think are our friends turning their backs on us, they can do that, and then it's just a mental note now. You know who your people are, who loves you.
Why are they switching up? Simba doing that? It's playing into the public's hands slightly.
And I see it like that too, you guys, because we're not fucking dumb.
These people are upset that the empire is crumbling, and I love it. I love it. Why are people now like, oh, now that we're at the end, people want to switch up on us and they want to go against what we think and all this kind of stuff? Simba has been this way for a minute now. Simba was upset at Tommy when he tried to, you know, gain favor with the girls and stuff like that. And he was like, what we're not going to do is throw me under the bus to make yourself look better. You're in the wrong. Don't bring me in that. But everybody did what? Back Tommy. Okay, cool. When it came time to vote, people were voting for their friends to stay. They voted for Mika to stay and for Tommy to stay. Who was upset about that? Simba. He's like, guys, this is not about friendship. This is about who should be here, and I don't think that they should be here. He's becoming more vocal about going against the group, but it's not a new thing. Coven is going to say, yeah, I'm looking at everybody differently. I think that Simba and Lorenzo are game players. Game players. You're all playing a game. You're all here for clout. I'm glad that people are finally now being honest, but Coven himself was playing in his brother's face, knowing he wasn't rooting for Priya and Aiden. You too switched up because, you know, we're at the end now. Who cares? Let's just say what we actually want to say. But for the longest time, he was in support, knowing he didn't believe in it for real. I'm done. Priya tells Yulia she doesn't want to have bad blood, child. She's like, listen, let's let bygones be bygones. I don't want any animosity. And she's like, there's never any animosity on my side. She's like, listen, I know the people who I appreciate. It's Lorenzo, it's Simba, it's Angelisa. Those people know me for who I am. But regarding me and you, it's never been animosity. Not over here. Priya was I'm too stunned to speak. Priya was too stunned to speak. Didn't have much to say after that. I said, Tommy says that Yasmin shouldn't get caught up on what was happening before the show because he didn't even know her. People spin the block, okay? People have side pieces or whatnot. People maintain multiple relationships knowing where their heart is truly at. So just because you were making decisions before I knew you doesn't mean I shouldn't take those decisions into consideration. Okay, anyways, she says her love for him is going to, you know, put this to bed for now, take his word at face value. And she does admit later that she's the type to, what did she say? I get under to get over. So I guess it's like attracts like at this point. Lorenzo finally is putting things into perspective regarding Yulia's opinion, because Priya is here questioning her thing with Aiden, and Lorenzo's like, yeah, which is what Yulia has been saying the whole time.
I wouldn't waste your time, Priya. I'd just focus on having fun.
I didn't have deep-rooted feelings for Aiden either. I just didn't feel that it was an issue for me to bring up.
Leave his friends, because you're going to end up ruining it.
Why pick me over Martha and pick me over Alicia?
That's
I knew that.
what she was saying the whole time.
He's an absolute sweet talker then.
This is what Julia's been saying the whole time. That's why she bursts out into these amen moments.
So it seems all the while he knew where Yulia was coming from. But because she's so strong-willed, he's like, oh, she could fight this battle by herself. Guys, I hate that. I hate that. I want more for this girl. So Priya is trying to explain things. Lorenzo's like, yeah, that's what Yulia has been trying to say this whole time. Who has nothing to say now? Priya. Because the reason why you guys were upset with Yulia was not because she was wrong. It's because she was clocking you. Then Priya, before this conversation even happened, she was saying, you know, I studied psych, or I think the other people were pointing out that she studied psych. She's like, yeah, I feel like people undermine me and whatever. And they were like, what? No, you're so smart. You study psych, whatever. She's like, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes you guys like underestimate me and whatever. So you mean to tell me you think the villa undermines you? You're going to take these people's words as gospel. People who clearly don't respect you, you're going to believe every word that they say. They have a final dinner. Everybody's reflecting on their time together. Lorenzo tells Yulia he wants to be exclusive. She's excited, yay. They get a text about the votes. Priya and Aiden are dumped. It took us 54 episodes to get rid of Aiden. Ciao. In the next episode, it's going to be the Islanders coming back and giving their opinion. If I'm to guess who they're going to dump, it's a tough one. I don't think they'll vote out Jasmine and Kavin. I don't think they'll vote out Simba and Angelista. Because of friendship, I don't see them voting out Mika and Samraj. I don't see them voting out Lorenzo and Yulia. I think it might be Yasmin and Tommy, especially after today's episode. I think it's going to be them going. But we'll see. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.